let's go to Prince Philip's funeral. It's going to be held at St George's Chapel at Windsor Castle on Saturday. And according to the media reports, there are careful plans to keep Prince Harry and Prince William separated when they walk behind their grandfather's coffin. Herald Sun's reporting that Buckingham Palace sources say the brothers would not walk shoulder to shoulder behind the Land Rover carrying Prince Philip's casket, and will also not stand next to each other when they enter St George's Chapel, where the 50-minute funeral service will be held. Are you surprised by any of that? I mean, do you think that's an indication that relations are still really poor between the brothers, or is this just careful micro-planning of every second of this
No,
funeral?
I mean, things are clearly very bad. I mean, the two brothers should be walking together, shouldn't they? They are of equal relationship to Prince Philip. And I actually think it's a bit pathetic that they're not able to. Like, you know, you've got a job to do, a king, a former prince, bury the grievances and do your job.
But I think in between them is another grandson, so it's not like they've just put some random person. As we know, there's only 30 people at this
There
funeral.
is. Well, the guy between them, Peter Phillips, he doesn't have a royal title, but he's a member of the royal family. Of course, he himself has been the subject of some controversy. He's the guy who was selling milk into Asian markets and, collecting a handsome payment for doing that. He featured in this commercial that ran in a lot of Asian countries where he was served a glass of milk by a butler in a sort of stately-looking home.
Oh, because I was not aware of any of that. Well, I could fall over Prince Philip. I wouldn't know who that is. So it's interesting that he's a bit of a celebrity name.
Yeah, no, I'm actually, here's a little secret about me. I'm a bit of a closet expert on the royals. I don't know, have you been following the controversy about the uniforms? So obviously Prince Philip actually fought in the Second World War, frontline service in World War II.
I actually read up on his service after his passing. I didn't realise what an accomplished sailor he was and the fairly important role he played in Italy's biggest naval defeat. He was a serious. If he didn't get married to the future queen, his potential there was enormous. They said he could have been a sea lord, but
yes,
he obviously had to step away from that to accompany the queen.
And now in death, he faces the indignity of his son and his grandson aren't able to wear military uniforms. Prince Harry had his, military titles stripped over the Megxit scandal, and one of his sons wanted to wear his naval uniform, but of course, because of his misdemeanours, he can't do that either. And certainly the Navy don't want to do that. So now apparently they're all wearing suits, not military uniforms.
I think that's really quite poor. I think to protect Prince Harry and Prince Andrew, they are not honouring him.
None of them are wearing uniforms.
They should be. That's just crazy. But of course, in these race-obsessed times, there are TV hosts wondering whether there are any racial diversity among the 30 people at the funeral. Have a look at this.
We are going to see a group of 30 people who are going to be at this very restricted funeral. And I'm imagining it will be 30 people who are white. I'm just trying to think whether there's anybody of colour in there, and I don't think so. Do you think that's a problem?
I mean, really, a 99-year-old man is being buried and they're worried about whether his relatives are sufficiently racially diverse, if all 30 are going to be white. I mean, is this what we've got to as a society?
It is funny, I must say. I mean, he is a 99-year-old white man who is from a white family. Now, admittedly, they've only just recently started marrying interracially in that family. But, yeah, to make a political point about it is just... it's weird.
But the spouse, it's just crazy.